see you so much people. My pleasure is to the square. Welcome and thanks to come. I will show you directly the menu for tonight for our Devchain meetup. First of all, I want to remind you our two streams of communication where you can go, you can put content. We have a Facebook page and a page dedicated to lightning talks. We are very pleased to welcome everybody that want to propose some new talks, short talks. Yes, I'm not in the field. Please go to this stream, to these pages, and discover it. Oh, sorry. Okay, what we will have today as a menu. We will have some short talk. Some will be more business oriented, some will be more technical oriented. And after that, first we talk, and after that we will have a short pause with pizzas and beverage. And after we will put our hands on with two groups. There is a group of more beginner persons on smart contracts development and some more advanced persons. That is the second part of the event will be more technical. Okay? Then, without waiting, let's go for the first talk. Are you ready? Okay, the first talk is Robert Zaramba, who will speak about security traps in the Solidity image.
You can help me with the laptop. The link is on the slide. So, hello everybody. So I'm Robert. I'm doing blockchain for my daily basis, and I will talk today about security traps in a Solidity in particular, but with a few mention about in general, yes, where we are in the blockchain. So just for a quick check, how many of you are familiar with Solidity? Because we will do some code snippets with a Solidity. Voila, 3 people. How many of you are familiar with programming in general? Okay, much better. So I hope you will get it. So just to give you the perspective about the market and why these traps are. Oh, can you move this? Somehow? The beamer, is it possible?
No, it's impossible.
Okay. So
That's a feature.
That's a feature, yes. So basically, the market is pretty spicy, as you can see. Yes, that the market value of Bitcoin itself is $120 billion, every day growing. Ethereum 28 billions, Ripple 7.9 billions, and then we have 1,200 other altcoins listed on a coin market cap. So since all this market is so open, it's being really attractive for breaches, and that's why it's really important to see that everybody is at risk. And every year, since there are more and more people in the crypto, more and more business publishing or doing the business in the crypto world, we are more exposed, more spicy for these breaches, and we can see exponential growth everywhere. By what I mean by everywhere, it's not only the crypto world, but in general the IT. That's from statistics from 2015, and in the US, yes, we can observe that every 10 person is a victim of some IT breach. There were 48 billion losses for corporate. So it's a huge topic. And now if we just go to the open world of the cryptocurrency projects, it's like putting everything you have, to an open network. Of course, the network itself is supposed to be secure, but the developer, the human behind it, is not. And that's why it's so attractive to many. So the thieves are there. Yes, it's not that they are coming from because of the spicy cryptocurrency war. Yes, they already exist. So if we can just divide what kind of breaches are there, we can talk about social breaches, IT calls, and smart contracts. So last week there was an ICO chain meetup about the security, and Najib he made a great presentation about the social aspect and the ICO aspect of the security. Here, since this is a Devchain, we would like to focus more on the engineering part of it. So in particular, the IT calls and the smart contracts. The most popular, let's say, network for basically doing the business, in fact, is Ethereum. And in 2017 already, we could observe that the criminals stole 1% of the total market value of Ethereum. So if you remember, it's 28 billion. Yeah, it means that 1% of the total market value. If you go to a bank and say that bank lose 1%, just because of the no bank will like to promote it. Say yes, okay, we are better because we lose only 0.5%. Yeah, this will not work for any banking industry. So here I would like to present to show you why in fact this is happening. What's behind this, IT calls and IT breaches. And by the way, the Bitcoin toll is estimated to be even higher. But this goes on the Ethereum mostly it goes for this IT calls. On the Bitcoin, on the other hand, it goes mostly for the social aspect. So stealing the wallets, doing the phishing and so on. Yes, and now in fact the Coinbase node, which you can see at the bottom, and they say that at least from last, they made the average basically from last 3 years. So by the average, the Coinbase account holders they get rid of 5 minutes each of this year, and this counts mostly for the Bitcoin losses, in fact, because Bitcoin is the market volume of the Bitcoin Coinbase is the biggest one. Okay, so let's talk about the smart contracts. Why there is this huge risk, the high risk on the smart contracts itself? Because this is the part where we can do this IT hole. Yes, there is no software which can be bulletproof, and there is no other software which can verify the other software that it works. This is impossible. And smart contracts are special here because they can contain the funds. They can manage the funds, and once we can break the smart contract, yes, we can get the access and transfer these funds. Last week, I got a very nice experience after the ICO chain event. Yes, when I was just promoting the hardware wallets, saying like, okay, why we need a hardware wallet if we can just put the money into a contract which is pretty solid or some company. So as you could see, yes, the Coinbase itself, which is thought to be a fortress in the US, like the Gmail for the email, yeah, the wallet for the crypto vault, yes, can't secure this social network. And for the smart contracts itself, when we make them public, everybody can look at them. So in a Coinbase, if somebody knows that you own, that you have an account, you're already a victim. Yes, there are tons of bots which will probably try to spy you and make some phishing or social attack. On the smart contract is the same. Since they are public, all the companies, projects which are based on the blockchain, if they count about the reputation, they also count nowadays we live in a world where we want to make something public. If I will publish a contract and you can't verify it, yes, it's already, oh, maybe it's a scam. You shouldn't invest in this. So, big majority of the projects we observe happens on the blockchain on the basis that they're open. So everybody can verify it, can check what's actually happening there. And this is the feature of this ICO boom, yes? That we can trust because somebody made the analysis, it's open, and it works. So it works in, let's say, most of the cases, except that there is a bug and nobody has spent enough time to find it. This is the brilliant quote I would like to share with you. So it says, "Solidity is a riddle with bizarre design errors. It makes PHP4 look like a work of genius." So basically what it makes, like, we give you the language you can operate, which looks like being an easy thing. So one of the design decisions for the Solidity was it should be easy to consume by the programmers. And they make it JavaScript-like, which means that it's very hard to prove something in Solidity. Of course, it's not JavaScript, yes? So it's the main language, but the way how it's structured is not functional in a way that there's a strong typing, there is a solid semantic operation on top of that. It's like making the operation a statement. So something like PHP guys would look like when doing PHP4 back 10 years ago. Yes, they wouldn't think about actually does it work or not. They would only observe the effect on one use case, on one test. Yes, press enter, refresh. Okay, works. Great, I will publish it. And it doesn't matter if it's operational, it's super expensive, or it works only in this particular case. So Solidity is kind of similar here, yes, that you can pretty easily do the job, yes, but there are tons of traps. And I will claim here and will convince you that Solidity is a dangerous language. So first of all, I guess that since more majority of you raise the hand that you are familiar with programming, so you know what is a this. Yes, when you see the random code in this, probably you will connect it to some object-oriented and a self-reference. So when you see this in a Solidity and a method called like this .setX, and then it will teach you, like when you get 20 minutes or learn Solidity in 20 minutes. Yes, you could think that those two guys are the same. So calling in the contract this.setX and setX. There is no way compiler nothing check it if you're using it correctly or not. I mean, this is just an example that's saying that intuition here fails at almost every step. And compiler doesn't help you, at least now. So let's go for this use case and look in this in more detail. Solidity itself doesn't come with kind of a standard library, which we are now, let's say, familiar with. Yes? We take the one language, one environment, we expect that there is a standard library which works, which we trust, and it's solid. So let's take the example of string. Everybody, whenever you do something, you do the identification. String is one of the most popular type. yeah, in any programming language. Probably just next to the numbers. And in Solidity, if you want to basically connect two strings, if you want to check, like if you have a prefix, if you match some regular expression, it doesn't exist. Yeah, so you are again now faced to many error-prone things that like you don't think about when doing normal coding. Yes. So how many of you, for example, do some recently write a function to check if one string is a substring of another string? Probably like last time you did it was in a university, and if you would like to do it without the test, I bet that you could do like a simple error because you didn't check some edge case. Like, I don't know, string is empty, string is too long, or whatever, yes? Or take the minimum. And this is where it goes back to this PHP 4. Yes, like we are trying to get something super simple and expect that it will work, but it can just fail unexpectedly once the contract is there, is published, and you are not supposed to change it. So there are many things you will have to do by hand. And probably most of us know, like the programmers, that usually, yes, the bugs, the most stupid bugs are in the easy things, because we just think, oh yeah, this works. And I did it 100 times. I don't need to write a test about it because it's so simple, yes. And it's here. So let's talk about the arithmetics. So the blockchain world, we think that is designed for economics, financial, and management. So as I said, that we have the strings and the numbers. In Ethereum, probably most of the projects are dealing with the finance. And do you think there exists in any banking system now a language or a library which treats the numbers as only integers? I bet no. Yes, they either have a specialized type for having decimals, so being like 100% accurate. Yes, or they just do with doubles or this kind of things. Yes. In Solidity, guess what? You don't have the floating points. You don't have decimal. So everything is a stupid integer. And of course, you don't want to have, let's say, $1 equals, let's say, 1 token, 1, 1. Yes, because on Ethereum, you know that, okay, you don't want to send Bitcoin, because you need to divide it. Yes, in Ethereum is the same, you need to divide it. So what's happening? We just say, okay, one Ether, yes, equals 10 power 18, yes, units. So we do the decimals artificially. Yeah, so we implement decimals as integers. And what's happening? What if somebody forget about it? What if somebody just do something differently? Well, we have an next error. And let's look at this example here. So the first line here declares the mapping. So simple map or dictionary. Okay, from address to the unit, and we call it balances. So basically the idea is, yes, we map who owns how much. Yeah, as simple as that. And of course, this is a whoint, so all the natural numbers. So we don't want negative numbers. And let's say that we want to have a simple function, increase the balance. So we want to, for somebody, we want to increase the balance by some amount, let's say by 10. We want to add 10 bitcoins to somebody. Okay? So pretty simple, yes? We just add this amount to the balances, and voila. Okay, where is the bug?
You can go into overflow, for example.
Yes. That's first one. Any other? So yeah, it's a very good catch. Overflow. So let's say this is unit. And I will have another example for that. There's a silent overflow, but here, basically the first explanation is this int, yes, can be negative. So, if you want to increase the balance and make this function, I don't know, somehow that not only the owner but some more or accountants can incorporate with that. And of course we know that we can't roll back the changes. Then in fact what we can do here, yes, we can decrease the balance. So that's first. The second, yes, is the overflow. We can go, since the result, yes, of this operation can exceed the maximum amount which we can store in a unit, then it can get negative. Yeah, so we need to require a check if it's bigger or equal to 0. And here's another example. Let's say that it will show this overflow and highlight more about the overflow problem. So int 8 says that it's just 8-bit integer, and so it says that the maximum number it can store is 255. In fact, 127 because it's also negatives. So we need to make sure that both these types agree. Yeah, again, very easy to forget. And the compiler will not tell you easily about it.
But what happens if you give, for example, 512?
Sorry?
If you give 512 as an input for this function?
As input for this function,
yeah.
Silently overflow. 512 will be 0, yes?
It
will be 0.
So in the contract, when you execute the contract?
Well, not because you want to add 512, yes, but in fact it's interpreted as adding 0. So, okay, I need to finish soon. But let's say about, okay, and the next part about making these errors is because we always, when we do the coding here, each operation costs us a money, as we call it gas. So another trap here is that we probably want to optimize these operations, reduce the number of declarations we do. Like in a normal programming language, yes, everybody will teach you that you should well structurize, make the correct variables, and so on. Put it into separate functions. Here, you need to deal that, okay, if you do it like wrongly, the function can cost twice as much, just only because you declared stupid variables. So you can end up with this. Yes, that okay, you have this required, more complex, putting these things together. And in fact, this is the right way to write this contract, this function. Yes, this one will protect you against the overflow, and it's gas optimal. So as you see, it's not obvious. Yes, but PHP 4, yeah, in the PHP 4 way we could do it just so simple. How about arrays? So what is this? Anybody? Like in any Java world or whatever, Python? No, Python no. We don't have it in Python.
Two-dimensional array.
Yeah, two-dimensional array. But how would you put this dimensional? Like we have we have 5 arrays of slices, or slices of 5 arrays of arrays with 5 elements. 5 is in which is 5 is the first dimension or no? It's which dimension? 5 is in the first dimension or the second dimension?
Second.
No, 5 is in the first dimension here. And the trick is that when you declare it, 5 is in the first dimension, but when you will access it, it's opposite. So again, syntax looks like it's familiar. Yes, you can guess it because you already did it hundreds times. But wow, if you don't put enough attention, again, trap, fall. And if you don't do the right tests, edge tests, again. So here in this example, is 5 is on first dimension. Loops. What's wrong with this loop? Pretty simple, yeah? We just want to increment, so we have the array, the function takes an array, and we want to each element of that array, yes, we just want to, okay, it should be, instead of e, it should be, let's say, okay, this is also a good example. It's fine. I have something different in mind, but it's okay. So we just reassigning the elements in the array, yes? So what's wrong here?
You could run out of gas if
Yes.
A is too.
Yes, that's first one. Second.
Parameter is named array and inside you use a.
That's just a typo.
That's like yes. But in fact here, in this example, you will not run out of gas. There is something else. I mean, yes, in this example in particular, we will run out of gas. But in fact, what's happening is here. So we are declaring E as a default type for 0. And in Solidity, the default type is like the smallest type which can hold this value. So this will be int 8. What does it mean? It can hold only integers up to 255, or maybe it will be unique 8, yes? The case is that it's very limited, small. And if the array has more than 288 elements, this loop will never stop. It will be just circulating all over again until we run out of gas. So, okay, we can fix it. Yeah, so we can say, okay, yeah, int 8, so we know that it will stop. I mean, this is how it works. Oh no, I didn't put the other example. Yeah, but those are the two cases. Yeah, so this is how it's interpreted by Solidity. And if the array has more than 288, then we just loop again. So yes, what we are doing. Maybe the last example because the time is over. So this is a standard ERC20 function. So the goal of transfer from is basically to transfer the funds from one account to the other one, and let's assume that we can do it. Okay? So we do the simple checks. Yes, if the amount is bigger than 0, if there is enough amount on the from account, and then we do the operation. Yeah, so we subtract from the from account, from the source account, add to the destination, the two, and here basically what is this line saying that we will call an event. If everything is okay, then we return true. Otherwise, we will call different event that okay, not enough money. Okay, there's a pretty important part which you don't see, but maybe you can have a second. I don't know because it's in a beamer.
No, it's there. You can see it.
Ah, okay, you can see it. Yes.
It's another film.
That's the last. So, any idea what is wrong here? I will just give you the hint that there are many, more than one stick, more than one bug.
Can be overflow on balances too.
Exactly. On both of them, in fact. So that's the one. And the second one, in fact, is the wrong interpretation of the transfer from. Because it says only owner can execute it. Okay? So if you publish this contract to, let's say, okay, this is my amazing ERC20 token. Yes, invest money into my startup. Yes, and of course we're implementing transfer functions, so on and so on. I say, yeah, okay, only owner can execute this function. So what's happening? So you put the money, yeah, everything is, the accounting works, the ICO is over, and me, the owner, I'm just transferring all your tokens, yes, to my account and quit the business, or doing some, or quickly then exchange it, sell it, whatever, yes. So again, yes, and by the way, this kind of bug, like with only owner, which looks that, oh yeah, it's okay, it's okay. That was the not exactly this thing, but in the same concept was the bridge with Parity Labs, where they where they wallets, their multi-signature wallets, so their contracts, yes, got broken and stored, I don't know, around 150 millions, I guess, or 120 millions. So, I mean, you can see that, yeah, it's stupid, but it happens in the real world. Okay, so this is a part one. Hope that you enjoy it, and if you do, please write about it on the Facebook or the Slack, and we can go further. Like, any questions? Do we have like 1 minute or 2 minutes for questions?
Is there another language than Solidity?
Very good question. Yes, I forgot in fact to make a slide about it. Yes, there are, for example, Serpent, or Viper now is just improvement of Serpent. Vitalik, I think he is by himself contributing to it, which tries to solve a few problems of ill sickness of Solidity. Okay, go over and.
Thank you very much, Robert. As usual, very technical, very precise, very complete. Thank you very much. We'll wait for the next one.
So there's at least there's more than one language for Ethereum.
Okay. Okay. Please welcome with me now Monica. Monica Boratou, who will explain us how AXA is looking at blockchain. Right, Monica?
It's just the way
And your presentation?
yeah, because there is a bind.
No,
No, look on the bottom. Still issue on the bottom. It runs using the Wi-Fi.
Elle était aussi sur cette présentation-là. Robert?
Just before
Maybe
we're getting done with the slide deck, so we don't have any confusion. I don't work for AXA at all. I don't sell their insurance at all. What I'm doing as a job is I'm working for Oracle as pre-sales consultant for a cloud platform. And something that I started a couple of months ago in Geneva is leading the startup brand community. So we have already a couple of events, and we're gonna have a next one in December. Hopefully, FinTech Fusion will pass with the venue. So I discovered with Cyril and the Devchain community. Now, just for your information, I have a technical background, but since ages I haven't touched any development tool. So I guess the question is, I'm not sure how many developers are in the room in here. Are there only developers? Yeah. Yes, in fact, it's great to have a bunch of technical guys, but my question was at one point in time, okay, it's great the technology, but is there someone using it? Is there some money coming in as for all the businesses? And this is the main question. And then I've done a quick research on internet, And to be honest, I haven't found thousands of examples that are already in production. I'm not sure if you are aware of any other examples that are ready to be used. I found the AXA use case, which I think is quite an interesting one. I would have used it if I would have gone from, because they have like a limited version of it for transatlantic flights. So the subject for today is more business oriented, so feel free to jump in if you have other examples or questions. So it's about smart insurance on Ethereum blockchain, and obviously it's the AXA use case. I guess this one is connected. Now again, I love what Robert is doing, but I'm coming more from business. So I would like to understand what's the value added of blockchain. So mainly, if we have a look at the flight insurance that has been put in place by AXA, it's mainly around a smart contract that is powered by blockchain. And what mainly the customer is getting, in fact, there are many advantages if I were to put it correctly. And I read also a number of reports coming from McKinsey, Deloitte, and all those companies that are defining a bit the trends of the industries. And mainly when I look at the insurance, and it might be travel insurance, it might be whatever type of insurance, name it, where there is what the guys learned to me, there is a trust issue, and the blockchain is not that expensive as to be used compared to a simple database. Yeah, it might be Oracle database. So mainly it provides customers and insurers with the means to manage claims in a transparent, responsive and irrefutable manner. Yeah? And this is quite important. So I'm not sure if you have flight delayed and you're trying to get the money back. This is a really, we are all like pain in the ass. Between doing the documents, contacting the airlines and getting your money, it might be months, period of months. The second thing that the blockchain is resolving when we look at the flight insurance is like they enforce the claims. Yeah? So the payments are triggered automatically when certain conditions are met. Yeah? In our case, it might be the fact that the flight is delayed. And third thing is that the claims and the customer information is stored on the blockchain, so we no longer talk, I guess, with a couple of exceptions, the ones that Robert was explaining, the fraudulent activities somehow cut it down. And as a business person, I guess the most important thing is that if we look at the customer experience, which is the most important thing behind the technology that we are using, is like giving the customers a better experience. And this is something that I guess all of us, we expect from whatever product that is out there on the market. Now, from a what I call technical perspective, as far I can go into technical details, the way that it's working is quite an easy high-level architecture. So mainly they have a mobile application. In fact, it's a website which is responsive, so you can use it on your mobile. So you go out there, you fill in your ticket number, you fill in your name, and then they propose you to buy the insurance. Yeah, and mainly they give you an example. You're gonna see it in the next slide. You pay like $5 for a travel insurance. If your flight is delayed for 2 hours, you get back $100, huh? Which is not that bad. So they have this mobile application. Obviously, they have a smart contract in place, and then the localized part, which I guess my colleagues can explain it better. And then everything is connected in real time with the APIs coming from the public databases. So once you have a flight that is delayed, the public databases are updated, and we are querying the APIs to get this information. Yeah? So, as I was saying, the smart contract is connected to the global air traffic databases, so as soon as there is a delay, the compensation is triggered automatically. And you can think of many use cases like this one, because I guess you guys, you like to develop, but you would like also to get some money at one point in time with the development. This is how the insurance look like. And what I found also quite interesting, mainly when we talk about insurance, is that the amount of compensation that is displayed is exactly what you're paying for. Yeah, so there is no hidden cost, which for me it's a quite an interesting point also. So once you submit your requirement to get this insurance, everything is sent over the blockchain, so somehow it's gonna stay there for the end of the life, if I trust my colleagues. And then, if it's trusted until hell freeze is over, obviously AXA, for example, they cannot change the terms after you buy the insurance, right? Sorry, but I have a PDF. So, again, this is mainly the business logic that they have behind the scenes. So if your plane is late more than 2 hours, again, public databases will place status information will automatically trigger your compensation, yeah? And in fact, in the smart contract, if I look at the conditions, they have many conditions, and then they have different type of insurance depending on how much time your flight is delayed, yeah? Now, the application is live, so it's online since September 2017. This is the website. This is they explain kind of what I explain you, mainly from a business perspective. As this is a beta version, they are covering, as for now, only the flights from the US to Paris Charles de Gaulle, so the transatlantic flights, but what they are saying is that they're going to cover the rest of the world by 2018. Yeah. So it's just to give you, in fact, a short example of how to use blockchain in the insurance industry, obviously where the money flows. Any questions or any ideas? Again, I don't work for AXA. I have not been involved in the project, so.
I thought you were working for AXA, so you think...
No, I just said at the beginning, I was, so, yeah.
But still, do you think there is another market for less than 2 hours? Because if you have this $5 premium for payment of 100, I think there's a whole market of less than 2 hours that is not used, first of all, 1 hour to 2 hours. And would that imply also the simple cancelling of the flight? You might look at a stupid question, but since it's smart contracted, is cancelling also including into...
It is not stupid at all, the question. Now, the question, I guess, is more related to if those APIs, they are really real-time and you can get the information in less than 2 hours. Yeah, because mainly the problem is like how fast you get the information, right? So I wouldn't see any technical issue for less than 2 hours. Now, from a business perspective, for AXA, I'm not sure how feasible it is from a financial perspective, you know. I'm not sure if it makes sense for them. But yeah, definitely everything makes sense as long as you manage to get the information in real time and your smart contract has the right condition to trigger the payment or something else. Well, I don't see any issues.
The great marketing would be to have the customer choosing his kind of insurance and paying a higher premium if he wants to be insured for less than 2 hours, and a lower premium if he wants to be
But they have, so on the interface, so if I read all the documentation, because I don't have a flight, you need to have a flight. If you want to test the stuff, you need to have a flight. The transatlantic one, and I don't plan to have one in the near future. But you can choose between the different plans, because if you look in here, you see they have this one. I personalized my code rate. So in here you can choose the different types of insurance that you want to have. And if you look at the conditions that they are showing in this slide, you see that, where was it? Yeah, so if flight delay less than 2 hours, more than 3 hours, or flight cancelled, yeah? It might be 3 hours, it might be something else, yeah? It doesn't matter.
A bit relevant to that question, actually, what is the financial benefit of ASA to have this on the blockchain, for example? But I think a great part of profit for ASA is people not claiming the case when a flight is delayed. Right? That's how they earn a lot of money. Now, if everything is triggered automatically, ASA,
Are
which
you
is,
concerned about AXA earning money?
then ASA will actually lose money, right?
I
Of course,
guess they don't lose money.
Of course, they save a few people working on the paper documents, assess the case and everything, but they will have to pay out a lot more.
No, it's just statistics.
No,
you
it's
take
a
the
calculation,
You
yeah.
take the statistics and make a probability out of it, and then you put a
I guess
threshold
they've
in,
done
and
a bit
you're-
of big data with all the data that they have, and I wouldn't be afraid that they are losing money.
It's more for the customer, yes, that me as a customer, if I see that, okay, yes, that this system, yes, doesn't bring like the AXA analysis, because I'm sure that, okay, if there is a delay, I get the paid back immediately. I mean, it's attractive for me, because I don't need to make my claim, it's just happening automatically.
You don't lose the time.
I don't lose the time, I lose nothing. I don't
Yeah, for the clients, of course, but for if the all the
And
insurance
yes,
company
and they
is
take
a
millions of
mafia
clients.
group, basically, saying let's not go on blockchain and just keep our business like that, we become the mafia, basically.
AXA
Doing it-
also saves money with the administration costs that are reduced.
Yeah, for sure. It's in the end, I think it's really the benefit and the cost, whether it makes sense. I'm sure it will make sense in the long term.
It's a win-win for both. It's for AXA because they can get like the better branding, like being more friendly company.
But it's also about the customer experience. Again, this is important. Guys, I know you're developers, but the customer experience is really... So I've done development, I know where we are as a mentality. From a development to sales, there's a huge difference in the customer experience. Maybe they're gonna lose, I'm sure they don't lose money, but even if they lose a bit of money at the beginning, at the end, it's gonna be win-win.
Yeah.
No, they don't, because
But they don't lose, obviously. They've done big data, they have
First they
statistics,
propose
they
you-
know how it works.
they propose you only 100, and your ticket might have cost 500.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be some model behind.
And they know that it's
Yeah.
2 hours never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing that
Which should be.
Which gives you the
Yeah, it's a
okay.
4 hours if I'm not wrong. That
Okay.
should be integrated.
Okay, we need to, yes. Last question?
Sorry, so the next thing that is relevant to it is based on the volatility of the Ether price. If it goes up to, I don't know, like Bitcoin price right now, which is 7 something already, then I also lose a lot of money, right?
This is a question
So-
for Robert. The
So
gas
if
cost
we,
for this
if the
implementation.
price of Ethereum blockchain and Ether is not stable enough, then also there's no, that
But
might
it's
be
now
a,
it's for
That's a
example
good
declining.
question.
Now it's declining the price of gas. Recently the price of gas went down drastically.
No, but the question is supposedly it goes up.
No, but the thing about the Ethereum, for example, itself is that by design, yes, that they want to control the price of gas that it will not, skyrocket. Recently they changed it in the latest release.
Just a quick question to finish quickly. Any one of you knows of any application online ready to be used, production mode on Ethereum blockchain?
Or
Not startup, not ICO, is that
yeah, and Liquor is doing good business
okay?
with the yeah, but not only the currency, but doing the collateralization
Okay.
or the exchange. Yeah,
I know it's in healthcare.
healthcare
Okay.
Remix with the proprietary, they already like pretty advanced.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Monica. So if you guys have ideas and you want to pitch, you can also come as Monica a few minutes for sharing with us the use cases. So now I want to invite on stage Sarah Leon from ICO Chain. Who has come to one of the event of ICO Chain? Yeah! ICO Chain as well.
Yeah, maybe one percent of the audience. That's quite nice.
So let's talk a little bit before the pizza about ICO Chain.
Yeah. So, sorry, you want to sit down because I just one. So I'm here today to do the promotion of ICO Chain that we are handling with the city. And the goal of ICO Chain is really to share the knowledge around ICOs this new investment method that is kind of shaking the traditional investment area. So as we can see, and as everyone has already seen, is that since the beginning of the year, we have maybe more than 200 ICOs launched that have raised $3 million. So during our first talk with Devchain that we had earlier in October, we discussed about what is an ICO. So we had the chance to have SMEX who came to make an introduction about ICO, how it works, the difference between VC and ICO, as well as IPO. We had also Richard Marou from Eden, a startup in San Francisco. And he shared with us, he explained the steps to go through a pre-commitment or pre-ICO, how to do as a startup. Then our second event last week was about security and ICOs. So we had Jean-Baptiste Descorzans from Evrex who came to share his view. And yeah, because this startup has been kind of attempt with cyber attack, sorry. And then we had also Najid Aouni, the head of cyber security at ELCA, who shared the cyber security aspects, how to protect an ICO, how to protect a wallet, and everything. We will have 2 more events. One in December, the 12th of December, and the next one will be in January. And we hope that we will all come because we just want to share the knowledge. And our team, there is Cyril Lapin from SMEX also, CTO, and he's also running Devchain, blockchain, Pizza. I think you all know him. There is me, Sarah Breant. I have 10 years of experience within the private bank, doing also actually, and currently a PhD with La Sorbonne in economy and politics, regarding all the blockchain regulation aspects with illicit financial flow. And that's all. Thank you very much. And we are also sponsored and helped by Fisher.
Yes, and the whole team, which is very helpful.
Olga,
and we have Olga here.
Yes.
She's there, sorry, she's there.
Yeah,
for the, you want to finish with the...
So I will finish maybe with the agenda and
yes.
Gianfranco. Protected. Gianfranco?
Gianfranco, we need a password.
You can tell it loudly. It's only on the YouTube. It doesn't go that far.
Robert, what are you doing on this machine?
So okay, just to finish the agenda here. So we got this few live kick talks. And
there will be Bijan after the pizza.
Bijan is our guest from University of Geneva. They are running the investment club, and they will share their experience about the blockchain.
And about the crypto.
And then we will have a Devchain, very short summary. I will go to it. Very short update about our environment we've been discussing here. And hands-on. So there will be 2 groups. So basically one group will be led by me and Gianfranco, and we will try to improve a hard coin. So it's a kind of open source project, which is a proof of concept of a promotion, like a sharing promotion, royalty coin where we can exchange basically to get some discounts. And this will be basically coding. And another one will be more tooling led by Cyril and Christian. They will be showing how to do how to manage a wallet. So basically do the simple operation with a wallet.
Can we do a poll just to have the idea who is interested for each of the Amazon?
I got a good part. But basically, now we will have a pizza, so just talk to us. And by now, who is interested in which one? Let's say, so who is interested in the wallet management? Okay, who is interested in coding? Okay, so it will work.
So we must probably do the wallet part here, in this space. You will go in the, do you have already chosen the place?
So we will do probably maybe this big room there.
Excellent.
And yeah, so now let's take have a pizza break and networking.
Pas trop deck de passer de la pause. Ça contrôle le truc.
Hey, you're live on YouTube. Can you give me the hash of your wallet?
The time. Thank you.
Alors, so it was like the idea because the bicycle license is but yeah, it's me. I teach online education to master students. But before online education was known, I did my PhD in 2005, 2008. All communication agency. Maybe it's the first one, but